the Times of London and our moderator, Paul Brandon, White House correspondent for USA Today and West Wing Report.
Welcome back. The Trump administration is rolling out a new policy. It says to stop immigrants already in the United States from obtaining permanent residency or citizenship if they use public benefits such as Medicaid, food stamps, or housing assistance. This, of course, is part of the White House's broader campaign to curb immigration, even legal immigration, which they said they want to cut down on. Kimberly, the president says that the immigrants who come to this country get these sorts of public benefits, and it's a huge drain on the American taxpayer. But the fact is, they even undocumented immigrants pay billions of dollars in taxes. That is what the data shows. So what is the president talking about here?
Well, the president is pushing an agenda that he's been quite clear about laying out from the start of his administration. Anything that can be done to reduce the number of immigrants coming into the country, legal or otherwise. And so in this case, what the administration is talking about is something called a public charge. A public charge is somebody who uses government benefits. So if you are a single low-income mother living in the United States who needs food benefits to help you get milk and dairy products to your children, we have a program called WIC that would make you a public charge. And so the Trump administration has been talking about this for some time. This will take effect in October. That basically means if you are an immigrant, legal or otherwise, and you start taking advantage of public benefits, it's a strike against you when you are applying for legalization and naturalization. But in terms of these numbers that you're discussing, yes, if you are here as an immigrant, legally or no, you're paying sales taxes. If you're getting some kind of income, even if it's not on the table, your employer is probably paying into some tax system for you, and you're just not necessarily able to get those benefits like Social Security. But this particular rule is likely to make people less likely to want to take advantage of those benefits, and that actually has states worried, because if you look at something like Medicaid, which is a health program for low-income people in the United States, states get money for their Medicaid programs based on how many people are using it and registered to use it. And if all of these immigrants stop using it because they're afraid they won't be able to be naturalized as a result, it means less money for the states to maintain these programs, which they need for American citizens as well.
In the meantime, what happens to these low-income mothers who, for example, need formula and diapers for their children if they kind of disappear into the shadows because they're afraid of it? What happens to them?
A lot of advocacy groups are very worried that people worried about risks to their immigration status as a result of this public charge rule will just not reach out for food assistance, for health assistance, which will lead to potentially more poverty, potentially malnutrition, and other negative consequences of people not being able to use the social safety net out of fear.
And also additional costs downstream when those new problems are.
Right. If somebody's not getting preventative health care that they would otherwise get under, say, Medicaid, then the first time you see them is when they show up to the emergency room, but then they can't pay their bill because they are low income, and then that gets absorbed into the system, and that's a cost that's paid by everyone.
So people are going to pay one way or another, it would seem. Now, for this broader issue of how the U.S. economy has always benefited from immigration, and going all the way back to the founding of this country, we've always relied on newcomers to bring in new energy and new ideas to the table. They create businesses at a faster rate than native-born Americans, for example. These seem like good things, and yet the clampdown on them, what's sort of the broader effect of this, the clampdown on people coming into this country from an economic standpoint?
Yeah, I think one thing that Kimberly mentioned, that the administration has always sort of tried to crack down on immigration, legal or illegal, and this policy really sort of highlights that for conservatives and supporters of the administration who say, oh, we're not worried about legal immigration, we just want to keep people who are here without papers out.